Hey, thanks so much for tuning into the Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth. Today is Thoughtful Thursday. All week we've been talking about self-control, self-discipline. And you may be thinking to yourself, I don't have self-discipline in my life. Maybe you feel like, hey, I'm not a self-motivated person. Maybe you see other people and you're like, they're getting up early in the morning, they're praying, they're working out, they're doing all these things. And you're like, man, I just don't do that. You feel lazy, you feel lackadaisical, you just feel like, well, I just don't have the power, the energy. I'm just not designed to do that way. God didn't create me to be like, there are just some people that are just self-motivated. If you think that way, you may think that way, but that's not true. See, God has created us all in his image. And listen to Paul's encouraging words to Timothy, this young pastor, this young leader. And in 2 Timothy, starting in verse 1 and starting in verse 7, or starting in verse 6, he says, "For this reason I remind you to fan into flame the gift of God which is in you through the laying of hands." And so he's encouraging this young pastor, Timothy, that, hey, God's got a plan for you. God's got a purpose. Like, remember when God spoke to you. Remember when your mother and grandmother laid their hands on you and spoke into your life. And here's the thing, God has a plan and purpose for every single one of us. And that is to worship him, that is to be obedient, that is to spread the good news of Jesus Christ to others. And Paul is encouraging Timothy in that same aspect. And then he says this, when you feel discouraged, when you feel a lack of motivation, remember this, verse 7, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." So here's the thing. When we feel a lack of motivation, when we feel discouraged, remember this. That's not from God. Remember this. God has given you a spirit of power, of love, and self-mind, self-discipline. So let's tap into that power. Let's tap into that self-motivation, that self-discipline. And remember that you were created in his image, and he has a plan and purpose for you. So don't allow your discouragement to control you. Don't allow comparison to control you, but allow who God has created you to be and having that confidence to control you, that you desire more of him, and he will reveal his plan for you again and again and again and give you the power to overcome the enemy. So let's hold on to that today. Let that be an encouragement to you, and let that be an encouragement to others as God has chosen you to spread that word to others. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for the Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth.